Good evening, everyone. Today is May 22nd, and it's 6:11. Welcome to the City of Soledad regular, actually, special planning commission meeting. And can I continue? Go ahead. Okay, I'm calling today's meeting to order. This meeting will also be streaming on the city's YouTube channel for the convenience of our community and for viewing purposes. So let's go ahead and start with the roll call.
Chair Josie Perez Rivera,
Present.
Vice Chair Sergio Diaz,
Present.
Commission Member Sandy Duarte is absent, Commission Member Roberto Cruz,
Present.
Commission Member Lorenzo Sanchez.
Present.
All right, so only four commissioners are present with one absent. We do have quorum. Let's continue on with this meeting. And let's go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll go ahead and go on to public comments. So item number. Okay, at this time, any member of the public may address the commission on items of interest to the public that are within the matter jurisdiction of the planning commission. Speakers shall have a limited time. Please be brief and to the point. No action or discussion shall be taken on any item not appearing on the agenda, except that commission members may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by members of the public. Are there any public comments in chambers or any Zoom comments, and did the staff receive any written comments?
No public comments.
No public comments via Zoom and none in chambers and no written comments?
No written comments.
Okay. All right. Okay, so next up we have the approval of the meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes? There's no meeting minutes.
This is a special
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you. No meeting minutes. So, next up we have the agenda. So we have a public hearing. And public hearing resolution number 2024-05, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Soledad recommending that the City Council approve planned unit development permit number 2018-02, PDU 2018-02, Miravalle Parcel E Amendment number 1. City staff will present the staff report.
Good afternoon, Planning Commission. I'm Anna Mora, Associate Planner with the City of Soledad. I'll be doing a brief staff report presentation on the proposed amendment to PUD 2018-02. We do have a representative from Eden Housing on Zoom, Louis Liss, Associate Director of Real Estate, representing the applicant team on this project. So I'll go ahead and review my staff report, provide a few details of the actions being considered tonight. And if there's any additional information that Eden Housing on behalf with or Louis on behalf of Eden Housing would like to add, they're more than welcome to add further details. Next slide, please. All right, so tonight we are considering an amendment to planned unit development PUD 2018-02. This planned unit development was part of the subdivision is part of an annexation, part of Miravalle 2, which was named Parcel E during that time. Now it's considered a Santa Clara subdivision. There's the transition. There you go. So I forgot to take off the transfer animations. But more so, the development is zoned R3 high density. Which gives a by right density of 22 units per acre. Totaling to a maximum amount of units on that entire 8-acre site for 188 units. This because this properly applied for a planned unit development. It does have some deviations from the regular property development standards. A PUD pretty much says that upon approval of the planning commission to recommendation to the city council, the projects can deviate from regular property development standards such as setbacks, heights, parking requirements, and so on. Tonight, the application or the applicant is providing, is wanting to amend their original permit to have a higher height to include more affordable housing units and then deviate from parking requirements in order to help accommodate more amenities on site. The planning commission action tonight is proving that this is something still consistent with a 2005 general plan, meaning this is something the city is willing to approve and consider to city council as a goal for the city to create these new affordable units. Compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, and then approve the requested deviations from the property development standards. Assuming that or applying that it would not cause significant effects to the public health, safety, and welfare of the surrounding areas. Next slide, please. So just a little bit of more background. Parcel E is located on the south or eastern part of Soledad, closer to the end of the city limits. It's currently a vacant site. It is originally proposed 104 townhomes, single-family townhomes, which are suggested to be ownership units. And then they proposed 28 multifamily units. The changes being considered tonight is leaving the 104 townhomes and increasing the multifamily units to 40. So it's a big significant change from 28 to 40. And in order to obtain those 40 multifamily units, they do have to go to a third floor, increasing the building height up to 40 feet. So that's something being considered tonight. Next slide, please. As mentioned, in the R3 district, the maximum height for development is 30 feet. And the applicant is proposing 40 feet. Again, this is more to accommodate the additional units than what was proposed in the original permit back in 2018. So if planning commission agrees, the approved maximum height for the building would be 40 feet. And the proposed amendment would be recommended to city council for city council final adoption and approval. The other requirement is offsetting the parking space requirements. So originally the permit allowed about 54 parking spaces for the multifamily units. Now they are proposing 50 parking spaces because they are adding a park as a specific amenity for the multifamily housing area. And they're also adding a community room. Even though the community room is not affecting the parking spaces, they do want to add a community room so that they can help get funding for this project. If you're not familiar with Eden Housing, they are a nonprofit agency that develops affordable housing, that develops and manages affordable housing units. So in order to qualify for state or federal funding, they need to comply with specific requirements, having amenities for the residents living in the multifamily units. And then they have to comply with specific number of rooms to qualify for that funding and make this development occur. All right, next slide, please. This is a brief site plan of what it's currently proposed right now. The multifamily units are located to the right side. The single family homes are located to the left. On the left side, there are already parks proposed, and it's not being considered. The left side is not being considered for planning commission action tonight. We are only focusing on the left-hand side, which is the reduction of parking and the increase of height of the building to have more additional units. Next slide. And then in the application or in the staff report on the applicant's application, you find the differences between what was proposed back in 2018 on the approval versus what is being proposed now. So on the right side. On the right side, yeah, on the right side here, the fence play area is being proposed. And as you can see, some parking was being taken away in order to include a child play yard area. And then a community room was added on this building, whereas this was used to be more bedroom space. So again, in order to qualify for that specific funding, specific amenities had to be included. In addition, there's also a bike room that was added, and now we are adding 12 more very low affordable units for the proposed overall project. So in total, even including the townhomes, you'll have 52 affordable housing units. 24 are moderate, which are located in the 104 townhomes. And again, those are not being considered for any action tonight, but the 40 proposed affordable units, if this is approved to waive the property development, you would obtain a total of 52 units. Okay, next slide. This is another brief comparison. This is what the proposed building is, and this is what it used to be. The biggest change in architecture is that it used to have a high-pitched roof, and if that's the correct term. So in order to go up a higher, in order to go up higher, they have to use that space and create a third floor to accommodate the 40 housing units there. Next slide, please. And something that stays similar is that there's two different buildings. So with PUD 2018-02, there was 214 multifamily units, so created 28. This 40 height requirement is only applying to building A, which is the one carrying, I believe, how many units? I think this one just has 4, can't remember the number of units there, but the biggest change would be considered on building A. Next slide, please. Again, the planning commission action tonight is to find consistency that this is something we as a city want to pursue and is consistent with the 2005 general plan. In regards to CEQA, the project itself, because it was part of an annexation to Soledad, an EIR, an environmental impact report was already generated, which applies to the same use. Therefore, no further environmental assessment is needed. And then the action being considered tonight is that the height of the building, there's a type of the hotel, but the height of the building can be increased up to 40 feet to help accommodate the new proposed the additional units. Reduce the parking to 50 parking spaces, and fully recommend this for planning commission approval to city council for final and formal adoption of those property development standards on this new on this project. All right, next slide. Okay, so at this time, I'll open it up to Louis if you'd like to add anything or any other comments on the project.
Sure. Well, we really appreciate.
I think we're.
Yeah, mute.
Yeah.
No.
Can you hear me okay?
Give us 1 second as we're having some technical difficulties. Let's see.
Oh, we just lost him.
Okay. Can you hear as well, Liz?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are having audio difficulties. Give us 1 moment.
Maybe we need to change the speaker.
Yeah, from Zoom.
So speaker to the TV.
Can you change it from Zoom?
Can you call in?
Is Steven still? We apologize. So this is the first time we're actually streaming on the YouTube. Council has done it for their meeting on YouTube, so we just want to make sure that everything is working the way it needs to.
What did you click to turn Josie's mic off earlier? It's on
Can you hear us, Liz?
one of the back feed.
Just test it, testing?
Can you hear me?
No.
If you go there and then test it,
So the speaker. Oh, put the volume up, yeah, and then test speaker. Oh, it's because there's feedback from the owl.
Are you running around there?
Can you hear me now? Is that a yes? You're still quiet.
We can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll make my remarks brief. I'm Louis Liss. I'm an associate director with Eden Housing. We're a 55-year-old nonprofit organization based up in the Bay Area, with a presence in Monterey County as well as Santa Cruz. And we are so excited to be working in Soledad on this project and really appreciate the members of the Planning Commission making this special time to consider our PUD amendment request. This request really was generated as a way to create a financially feasible, affordable housing project with enough units that we're able to manage it to our high standards and attract the state financing through tax credits that are necessary to in order to build the project. So that included adding tax credit required amenities such as the community room, as well as a play structure for children who will live at the development eventually. We were really careful to maintain the character of the existing development that was already approved and very attractive. And in my opinion, our architecture team did a great job fitting those extra units while maintaining the same visual impact of the project. In addition, we feel that the parking trade-off for the play structure is going to be a great one to make, and we're confident that we'll be able to adequately serve our future residents so that they have a wonderful place to call home. With that, I will open it up in case people have any questions. Thank you.
So I have a question. Feedback. Is there an elevator inside?
So this project does not include an elevator, but with the three-story design, we will have a third of the units fully adaptable, fully accessible for people who need mobility accessible apartments, and the site will be fully accessible. So we feel that there will be something for everyone, and by foregoing the elevator, we're able to really create a financially feasible project in a time and in a geography with pretty limited funding available.
So we've done that, we're at 40 feet,
Over 4 feet?
over 30 feet.
Or 30 feet? No, this would be the first one. So our zoning is very limited. One, because it is also very outdated. We haven't done a technical or zoning change since our last general plan, which is in 2005. As we're moving forward, one of the biggest priorities to help increase and have higher dense housing is to go up higher. So one of the big items that is helping us to go up higher is that we have now a fire bay apparatus that can serve buildings higher I think the maximum height is 4 feet. So this is this is a 3-foot building, so it would be more than capable in serving, and providing that, service.
And we're only losing 4 parking spots for the addition of 4 more units, correct?
The displacement of parking is due to the park, that is being added, yes. Mhm.
But like, what is it, we're only losing 4 spots.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And there's 54 to the 28 units.
Mhm.
But the word park is being stretched a little bit, right? Because if you look, it took up the spot of 4 parking spots, right? So the idea that some park, maybe it's like a green area,
It's an
Okay.
enclosed fenced area, and I think, it's proposing a small playground. It wasn't proposed during the original PUD. The parks was only provided towards the single family homes. So the multifamily area was not included, did not include a small park at all. And because of the tax credits, they are trying to include that and reduce parking.
And the park is designed for the residents, not for the general public, to where you're gonna need the parking?
Yeah, I believe it is just for the residents, because ultimately that will have 2 different owners. So it's all ownership units to the left, and then the multifamily units will be owned and managed through Eden Housing.
so the 104 townhomes, those are gonna be purchased individually? And then
Yes,
these
those are ownership units, individual home ownership units, and then these are rental units.
Can you pull up the map of where it's at?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is located on the northeast side of the city.
So on that slide. So we'll go back a few slides. That map or the solid end map?
So the one that shows like what's behind it,
Okay, so.
right?
one more
So I
slide.
guess my question would be like, is it towering over the local homes there?
So it's on the other side by Brian.
Canyon Road, yeah.
Canyon
The
Road.
multifamily units were approved in this side of, the parcel.
Yeah.
And all the 104 townhomes are located over here. And one of the
And
things,
behind that or nothing behind that?
no, that would be outside of city limits.
That's actually the county, I believe that's more ag land,
Mhm.
agricultural land.
Yeah, so our city limit line, goes all the way like this way here, next to Bryan Canyon Road. This is all county and is not within the city limits.
So we wouldn't develop there.
So they would be obstructing the view of the mountains from. the
No.
existing-
No.
It's actually, it's
On this side.
east
It's
to
on this
west,
side.
yeah, it's east to west, not north to south, in regard to the elevation.
So there's no planned development behind it?
No, because that's the county,
Mhm.
so not that we are aware of in regards of the county building that out. And that's actually Bryan Canyon Road, so that's actually a county road that's behind the multifamily.
So
On the
that would have to go
east
through
side.
a different specific, process. We would have to amend our sphere of influence, which kind of shows where the city ends up wanting to build out, and wanting to expand within the next few years. And in order to do so, we need more sort of a partnership between a private developer or so to expand and make sure that gets built. And at this time, we do not have anything proposed.
What's that street right there? The one that curves right before that one right there? Which one is
Santa
that?
Clara?
Santa Clara.
So is that gonna be their access point, or are they gonna use Bryan Canyon?
Right, that's what I was
It
gonna
would
ask you. What
be-
about traffic?
No, it would be Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Bryan
There's no
Canyon,
concerns with traffic congestion?
the EIR that was provided within 2018 or that analyzed, the,
Anybody smell smoke or fire or something's burning? Like trees, leaves.
Yeah, we smell something.
Well, that's not okay. It's really windy, so I can't really smell well, but we'll go. I'll go check it out.
Side.
Let me
Oh,
go.
that's a little bit smooth.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's starting to happen.
Like fireworks or something.
We did have a
Very
grass
quick.
fire. Okay. Oh, you guys have great noses.
Right?
I would have been so, like, what are you guys talking about?
No, what was the question?
The traffic.
Oh, traffic, yes.
The traffic
So
was
it
addressed.
should be,
Yeah.
it should be mitigated through the conditions, specific traffic was, applied through the conditions of approval of the permit. It also, can we go to the next slide?
To show the
Yeah,
plan.
so with the final map, or sorry, one more, just to bring it up bigger.
There.
There's internal streets also, bringing in circulation this way, and I know this is the main access point.
Mhm.
However, the street and the final map, once it was approved in 2018, was considered and applied specific conditions to help mitigate for traffic concerns.
So on this map, it's what's on the exterior
Yeah,
there?
it's what's on the east side.
Yeah, so so it would be, this is where Bryan Canyon Road is, and then this is Santa Clara Street this way.
So if that street gets blocked for any reason, there's no other egress, correct?
For both entrance and exit, yeah, that's the question is.
Is there any consideration for using Bryan Canyon as a secondary exit?
My understanding during the annexation of that entire part, which included all the way down to probably Orchard Lane, to the side of Orchard Lane, that entire strip down, was that the county required that Bryan Canyon Road stay with the city of Soledad. I think it was of our interest to have Bryan Canyon Road be part of Soledad, but not too sure why Monterey County LAFCO decided that Bryan Canyon Road was to stay in county jurisdiction. So technically, this Bryan Canyon Road is a county road itself.
Mhm.
Our, what we call our saddle or barrier of our city limit line would be like on the sidewalk of the Bryan Canyon Road
So
Street.
you can't open it up?
No.
No, they would not be able to open up, in case they want to build a gate or anything, they would not be able to access or have any entrance or exit through Bryan Canyon Road. Unless you go through the Monterey County LAFCO and go
And
through
the
that
county
process.
cruiser. So that's actually one of the things that we've been talking to our public works department about in regards of Bryan Canyon Road, in regards of expansion for the city. And the county has time and time again have not budged on us touching Bryan Canyon Road, even with the cemetery also being like within our area, they won't even let us come near it in regards of it. And so in order for us to even allow, in order for us to have development to say that Bryan Canyon Road is part of an emergency exit or something like that for their subdivision, we would have to get the okay from the county, and that has to go through yeah, that has to go through the county and LAFCO for us to even allow for that to happen. So I think that definitely was a conversation that was talked about during the process of, permitting this PUD in 2018. I just think that the conversations with county was not fruitful.
So Fire's already looked at this and approved it for the previous approval.
Mhm.
So another 12 units. Really shouldn't make a difference on that.
Mhm. And this one, and the reason why, the reason why we now feel like this is a more beneficial and fruitful process for us is now because we do have a new fire truck that will be coming. We now have the ability to say we do have a height increase, because if we didn't get the new fire truck, we wouldn't be able to approve this, because we would not have a capability of actually, allowing for a third story to come in. So this is actually really good for us in regards of leveraging to have more, of course, fire services, but be able to protect our community as well.
Yeah, and then in the future, as we implement our general plan and our housing element and think of having higher density housing, one of the proposed amendments to our current code is to go up higher than 2 floors. That way we are able to build higher dense housing in multifamily areas, given that we have the fire bay apparatus as a support.
So question for you. and it's not on this development, how are we doing with the current affordable housing, the sales? I mean, how many units have we sold so far?
For Las Viviendas?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how many have been sold. I know they are, some on the wait list. In conversations with our Beatriz, our housing analyst, she's been working directly with them. I think there are still units on the very low and low to be purchased. However, we are also thinking of buying some very low or low units there, not too sure which category, or if we are considering the restricted units for transitional youth housing, viviendas, to also help with affordable components of having more restricted units in the city.
Okay, because if we've been struggling in selling those low-income houses. And I think I brought this up when I started first on the planning commission, is why we're struggling, is it that the people don't want them, don't like the type of home, what have you. And now we're proposing to build some more
Yeah,
to meet the low income requirement. So here it says 29% of the total units, so 130. So 130 units, so 37 of them are gonna be very low. If as a city we're paying or buying.
One second, guys, I think we may have to evacuate. right? Oh, okay. Just, I apologize, think we put on, this is just a couple of. And, the fire you guys were smelling, there is a fire north of town. I just, made sure that the battalion chief, knew that we were smelling smoke. And so he said there is a fire north of town. They do have units out there already. Okay, so that's what we're smelling because of the wind and the pickup, the wind. Yeah.
The fire is at the range?
No.
No.
No, it's north of town. That's all that was important to me.
these were fun.
Okay.
To go back to your question. a series of events.
So
Yeah.
let me continue.
Mhm.
So we're saying they're, they are gonna be very low and the plan change will deliver 32 of the units of the 37 required, right?
Mhm.
So now our low income units, we're proposing increasing the number of units in this area. We haven't been able to get people to buy the current viviendas. What makes us think that we'll be able to sell these or have interest in these, for people to have interest in these? And then are we looking as a city then to go buy them too?
Mhm.
I
So
mean,
one of the biggest difference between Las Viviendas and this specific projects, not the 104 townhomes,
mhm,
is that these are rental units, so there's less requirements into the ownership. Las Viviendas are ownership units, so we need a lot of assistance for down payment, assistance for the mortgage to qualify for an ownership unit. So that's the biggest barrier when it comes to affordable ownership units, is that not everyone qualifies the specific income or cannot afford to provide a down payment. When it comes to a rental unit, there's less restrictions into renting. As long as you meet the income and all the paperwork looks good, then rental units are easier to get into. And as we've been doing our housing element work and outreach between the community and the needs of the community, we see that rental housing is the biggest need in Soledad for the community here. So therefore, when Eden Housing and the developer, which is Aga Development, came in to kind of bring in this creative idea to increase rental units. Because of the outreach we've been doing with our current housing element, we see that this is something that is needed within the Soledad.
okay, got it. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and also, one of the big differences, Eden Housing is a nonprofit organization and they are solely focused on working with the lower income or more affordable housings. And Las Viviendas, they are not a nonprofit, the company that's holding it is not a nonprofit organization. So some of the units at Las Viviendas are market rate and some of them are affordable housing, right?
Mhm.
So this one's gonna be a completely different type of how we would see affordable housing. I think also one of the great things about this is that it does help us with our housing needs, whether it's arena numbers or our general plan numbers. Those are something that we as a city are constantly looking for to make sure that we are still meeting the state requirements and the state needs. And
And we have a fund for that, right? So I think we talked about that, another settings.
Mhm.
So does that mean we approve 12 additional units? That means 12 less over there, like in the new development? Or are we just gonna keep on adding and adding to every
No,
development that we
It
add?
increased.
it increases. We are not deducting anything. It literally will be
No,
increasing.
so
Right,
upon the
but-
approval of the project, the developer, and it has a recorded agreement. He designated 14 very low, 14 low units, which would accommodate the multifamily units. And then 24 moderate and the 104 townhomes.
Right.
So again, during the outreach, we see that moderate units mostly are successful with ownership units. Now with the proposed changes and added units on the multifamily, all 40 units are going to be very low income, so the lowest income category. And then the same 24 still staying in the 104 townhomes.
Are these gonna be governed by the developer or are they gonna be section A allowed?
For the multifamily,
Or, yeah, for the multifamily?
that would be a question for Louis. I'm not too sure. I believe it's a section 8.
At this point, we are looking at having most of the units being leased by Eden. We have a pretty good process for doing a lottery. And then there may be a small number of apartments, if we're able to work with the Monterey County Housing Authority, where we may include some Section 8 assistance.
I think, if I'm wrong, correct me. I think what he was asking about the RENA numbers, we need to build a certain amount of, low-income housing during the development, right? So is this going to replace that requirement? So the number here, it's gonna fulfill the RENA requirements and meet those, so
Yes.
if you're, and I forgot the number of units that we need to build. So we're gonna subtract that from these from there, even though they're rental units.
Actually, because we were updating our housing element, we included the 40 affordable housing units into our housing element, so we're counting it towards our very low income category. And right now, as the state is reviewing our housing element, we are meeting the low and very low, and we're considering this project as one of them to meet those that specific goal number. Where we are falling short is the moderate, and we are also using the 24 moderate from this project to account for the moderate income. So now that affordable housing projects are coming into Soledad, we are meeting the very low and low RENA categories. And I think we're falling around 30 short from the moderate, but hopefully as we come up with creative ideas in rezoning or providing more housing site opportunities, we can create more moderate housing in order to meet those 724 units from the RENA.
And I think that's where my question was coming from on the moderate income homes, is if right now, we don't have buyers for the current development, what differentiates this development in the moderate income area homes from what's currently in the market for low income housing that is being sold? What's the difference?
So, so the moderate housing is on the 104, which is on the west side of what we're not what the multifamily that we're talking about. But, I think one of the things that we as a city have recognized when it comes to affordable housing, whether that is considered the low, very low, or moderate housing, is that we are doing workshops now to fully understand, to make sure that the community is aware of what they need in order to purchase these new homes. And what we're trying to find out is that we do need to help our community a little bit in regards of understanding the financial literacy to be able to afford to get these homes. And so I don't think it's so much that we're not finding like specific people. I think it's so much that people are trying to apply to purchase these homes, but they don't have all the documentation that they need, like financial backgrounds, bank statements or anything like that. That's what has been coming out of our affordable housing workshops that we've done. I think we've done about 4 already for the city, and that's mind you, Ariana is not our housing analyst, so Beatrice is our housing analyst, so I can definitely have her come and talk to you guys as commissioners to give you guys an update in regards of housing. But that is what we've been hearing from our workshops. Now, if that is something different, please, let us know.
It's very different what you're hearing. So I've been to the workshops and
Mhm.
I know a lot of the people that go,
Mhm.
right? And they're low income, and you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
They haven't prepared, they're
Mhm.
missing documentation, down payment, what have you, right?
Mhm.
I know that part of
Okay.
it. But I know a lot of people with moderate incomes
Mm.
who applied through the lottery system, and some of them got those homes and ended up not following through because they did not want a townhome type of home
Mm.
or something like Las Viviendas.
Mm.
They wanted a single family home, single story,
Yeah.
what have you, right? That's what they were willing with their income to commit to. And so my concern is, again, we're still missing out on that population that is looking at, that who has a moderate income. And if we look at our demographics,
Mhm.
I mean, we are low income, but our moderate income can't afford a home either, and they are waiting for those opportunities. So I want to make sure that we are dismissing them,
Oh, yeah.
and that we are developing for those individuals that are not sitting at the table and they're not going out there. So the people that are attending these meetings, are we surveying and seeing who's talking to us and who isn't talking to us and why aren't they? And does this really meet our community's needs? Not just meet the RENA numbers. We don't want to put things out there or develop housing that doesn't meet our community's needs, just to meet the numbers per se. I don't know, I'm not too crazy, honestly, about this.
One thing to reiterate too is because the project has already been approved in 2018. It already has and it has an affordable housing agreement. It already has low and very low units already designated within the part of affordable complex. It is just adding more, and changing the income to just very low. Cause again, based on the outreach we have seen here, we do see more of a need for very low income rental units, specifically rental units.
Yes.
When it was approved in 2019, does it have any conditions? Cause it looks like it's a lot of units.
Yeah,
Right, so were any additional houses added there beyond what typically would fit? As a condition,
Are you
as far as
speaking in regards of the multifamily or are you?
just
speaking
the
single
project
family?
as a whole? Because it looks like there's a lot of townhouse, so was there any conditions added, any?
so the density, so the zoning district is R3, which is the highest density, right? And the highest density approved then was 22 units per acre. When a project comes forward to planning commission, the project developer has to meet the minimum density, and at that time it was 16 units per acre.
So they already got approved,
Yes, they already got approved for the townhomes, and
Yes.
they had,
and now we want to add additional.
Not to the townhomes. the
Yes, but
multifamily.
it's the same project.
yes, which
So-
still is under their density.
So we already went from 16, you said, 18?
28.
No,
No,
so,
16 dwellings per unit was the minimum
and what did it get approved for?
for 22.
For 22,
Mhm.
so 6 additional townhouses per acre
Yes, or dwelling units.
Dwelling
Mhm. Per
was
acre.
already, in condition. as
Yes.
far-
Yes,
And now we wanna add an additional,
well,
Wow.
we're adding, so technically they can add units by right up to. The whole project as a whole can have a maximum of 188 units. Because the density is 22 units per acre and it's an 8-acre site. So the maximum number of units would be 188. So they could add units and modify their site plan, but they have to go through a separate, just a site plan review process. But because they're adding units that is making them go higher, the action tonight being considered is that height increase to add those units on a third floor.
So that is what is triggering us to bring it to planning commission. It's not so much the additional units,
Mhm.
it's so much the height.
in the
that-
park.
Yeah, and
And
the
the
parking,
parking.
yeah. Because that's what the planned unit development is going to allow us to do. So this is just an amendment to already approved project and planning.
And
commission.
actually, I don't, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
don't think it's just the height,
Right.
because it's
the way
it's
they-
the first building that's being considered as a third story, building. I get what you're saying as far as, the fire truck and how that's gonna be taken into consideration when developing, the rest of Soledad.
Mhm.
But this is like current neighborhood, and to place a 3-story building, even though it's like in the outskirts,
Mhm.
I don't know if it matches the neighborhood.
The congestion, the number of people, the parking. We said the fire department already approved or was okay with that?
Mhm.
Was this before this request for the the increase in density, or was it approved after? Have they reviewed this?
Yes, the fire department, the fire marshal has reviewed for the 3-story.
For the three?
Yes.
So one thing to clarify on that though, is for the entitlement, it's been cleared, but they still have to go through the construction plan phase and review those construction plans. So, when an application comes in of a big significant change, we do have to consider just the general topic of it before it goes into the big details
The
of
technical.
the technical aspect of that, yeah. So if it does get approved tonight, or if it's motion for approval at council, I'm sorry, recommendation tonight and approved by council, then they would move forward with a building plan set.
So in total, we're looking at 144 units, which would still make us in the deficit of 44 units under the maximum without a 188.
Correct.
And the fire department's already approved the egress, they've already looked at the height for the multi-unit complex.
Mhm.
So that complex, whether we approve it or not, it's approved as a 2-story. We're
Correct.
just looking at 12 more units and reduce the parking.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem like the parking is gonna be an issue.
Mhm.
And if fire's gone through it and they have egress and they can do their turn radius and meet all the requirements it needs, it's providing 12 more units. I don't think that's gonna significantly impact the neighborhood. The elevations looked really similar. That's another 10 feet.
Mhm. It's literally another 10 feet, because at the 2 feet, they were at 30, and all they're asking is for an additional 10 feet in order to make it
They-
40, so they can add the
And they
12
changed the pitch of the roof to not make it as,
flat.
yeah,
Mhm.
as steep,
Mhm.
so now it's flatter.
Mhm.
I have a question. The housing units on the lower portion of the map there, are those facing Santa Clara or they're facing the road inside?
I believe they are facing Santa Clara. Or actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
They're facing Santa Clara?
I believe so.
Okay. And then that road in the back, that's a road or an alleyway?
The one, it's a new proposed road,
And those are houses, so they have driveways,
Mhm.
parking spaces.
and I believe they have garages.
Okay. Well, not a lot of people use the garages and a lot of people are turning them into ADUs. And I know we're here for the height, but what I see is 12 more units, 4 less parking spaces. I know it sounds insignificant, but 12 units, that's at least 12 to 24 vehicles. And then including all the other houses, you mostly double the vehicles. And if you consider that maybe people don't drive, what has the city done to push MST for bus stops up there? So I'm looking at the resources, the traffic. I thought about Bryan Canyon too, but I just drove up there the other day and, people were walking their dogs, riding bikes. So to open that up, to all that
Yeah,
traffic, it's kind of, but yeah,
when it comes to,
it's a tough choice, but
yeah, and when it comes to 100%, sometimes, well, it wouldn't be considered 100% because it's a whole, but sometimes affordable housing complexes have reduced parking as well, because they are, as I said, the state is really promoting affordable housing and less restrictions on parking in order to implement for more housing units.
and I know it's not on the developer, but as you mentioned, we can't use Bryant Canyon Road. We're adding 144 units. What other routes in and out of Soledad is the city considering? Because those two exits, I left the other day for a meeting and the street sweeper. And I'm not saying, they shouldn't have it, but going on to the on-ramp and traffic was held back for about 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So when one of those entrances or exits goes down, all the traffic goes to another one, and what if we have an accident there? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I do want to have affordable housing,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm looking at the impact on the city as far as traffic and resources. You've got Jack Franchoni right around the corner. So, and I know people get upset when they have to wait for the crosswalk guard. I'm looking at safety also. Adding another 12 units. Like I said, I do want to do it. It's just, I think, what is the city looking at as far as safety and traffic and resources?
Well, I mean, the city has done their street study already. And of course, because this project is still in the planning phase, it wasn't a part of that system. But it is something that will be once it goes into fruition, because there's a lot of, I completely understand where you're coming from in regards of safety for ingress and circulation. I think that when it comes to understanding how circulation traffic work, the only street that they have access to from us is Santa Clara. They don't have access to the north, they don't have access to the east, right? And so for us, this is the best way for us to be able to do the circulation element for them, in regards of making sure that we do meet they do want to be able to give us as much housing as possible for the city. So I think that it was a consideration. And I'm saying this purely based on what I've read in regard to this project, because of course it was adopted in 2018 and I came on in January of this year. But in reading the information, it does look like they did address a lot of the traffic concerns, and there are mitigation measures that are specifically for this environmental impact report. So I'm sure there are answers to your questions. It's just as of today, that's that what we are looking at is the height increase in the parking. So it will be reducing it from 54 to 50 parking spaces because of the park, and it will be increasing the height from 30 to 40 and adding 12 additional units. So in regards of reviewing this, we felt like it wasn't going to be environmentally impactful or in regards of health and safety standards. And so therefore that is why staff is bringing it to you guys for recommendation, because we believe that it is also a need of the community, and it's also something that council and you as commissioner has informed staff to consider. And so we believe that this is the best possible route in regards of making sure that we're able to give you what the community needs, but also make sure we're addressing those health and safety issues.
Yeah, so we're not changing anything on the map.
Mm-mm.
It's just gonna be those
It's
three
literally-
things that we're looking at,
Yeah.
and
We're squeezing in more units.
yeah, even though I'm not completely sold on the fact that there's only one, even as an egress point. Because when you go down the rest of the newer homes that are off Orchard,
Mhm.
there's multiple lanes or multiple roads to get in and out. And then this just seems so condensed, everybody leaving to work at 7:30 in the morning.
Well, I think there's a road on the bottom part of the map,
Yeah.
but it still leads to
Those are
other
street
roads.
roads?
Yeah, so you see the T,
This
Right
one
there.
here, it's going down.
The San Rafael, yeah.
So the roads in the development up there, those are new street roads?
Yes, those are new street roads.
Yeah, but then you get down into San Rafael, and then you're kind of like in a little
In the parking
maze
lot?
there again.
Yeah.
More residential to try to get out, it can get pretty creative.
It's also how the parcel is laid out.
Yeah.
I mean, if we had a parcel smack dab in the middle of the city where it had connected to other major roads,
Different.
it's gonna be a different type of scenario. But right now, this one is literally on the edge of the city limits. And if if we had access to Bryan Canyon Road or even access to the north to create a new emergency exit, that would be great, but that's not up to us as a city, it's up to the county to allow us to do that. And so,
Or if that new road went through and connected to Orchard up on top, but you'll be eliminating some
some
homes.
homes, yeah,
And we can't go to the top because that's our.
No, I'm talking about straight across right in the middle where the new road is gonna be,
Oh, right here?
there.
Yeah.
Mm.
but you'll be eliminating two residences.
That would cause,
Houses there.
Yeah.
Cul-de-sac.
yeah, I think it's a cul-de-sac around the.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Are the townhomes gonna have the homeowners association?
yes, it is an HOA.
So they're gonna, kind of manage the roads also, right?
Yeah.
So they're not street roads.
No. It would be,
So it's kind of like the ones here, across from the cemetery, that neighbor, that community there, that's the way the roads are.
their HOA is dismantled, this,
That's the type of road that they're gonna be in there.
with sidewalks on this one.
yeah, and so your question is, are they private roads? Yes, they are private roads and they will be managed by the HOA. It wouldn't be maintained by the city, for what the applicant is proposing.
Mhm.
So, let's cross that question, that's a good point. So code enforcement's not gonna be enforcing that area. So if there's any illegal construction, ADUs,
The road itself, and technically code enforcement in regards of the muni code, you would still need enforced in the city,
but if the HOA is gonna be managing that,
but
and
yes.
they're gonna have their CCNRs in place.
Yeah, and there's been conversations with our city attorney, from the city to our city attorney to see if, the developer is open for the city to enforce parking on there. And from our conversations, because it's also a similar, question or situation with another proposed development, the developer is open to that. So he is not saying no for the enforcement.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about that with our city attorney in terms of the restrictions and covenants being proposed onto the developer or the site, which is a condition of approval.
Yeah.
In the PUD permit. But one more thing to reiterate is that, again, the project as it is right now with just the 14 or 28 multifamily units and the 104 townhomes has already been approved.
Right.
And the final map has been reported, therefore the streets are legally there, ready to start paving and grading. He's just making these changes because of the partnership between Eden Housing and the developer.
Yeah, there's a question, just more for information, I know we can't change any of that. Okay. Satisfied with the presentation.
Any other additional questions?
Alright,
You need a motion?
let me see. Okay, we'll open up the public hearing to hear comments and or concerns about this item. Are there?
No public comments via Zoom.
Okay. So if there's no comments, we'll go ahead and close this. And move on to discussion. We've already had the discussion, so any commissioners have any questions or any additional comments? All right, so do I have a motion to approve or deny? Public hearing item number, resolution number 2024-05. A resolution of the planning commission of the city of Soledad recommending that the city council approve land unit development permit number 2018-02 PUD 2018-02 Muir Valley parcel E amendment number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve permit number 2018-02, UD 2018-02. To allow for the third floor, 12 additional units and the reduction of 4 spaces in parking.
All right, motion by Commissioner Sanchez. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Seconded by Commissioner Cruz. Madam Clerk, please, call the roll.
Chair Josie Perez Aguilera,
Motion pass. I'm sorry, in favor.
Vice Chair Sergio Diaz,
No,
Councilmember Roberto Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Lorenzo Sanchez,
Yes.
and Councilmember Sandy Duarte is absent.
All right, so motion passed, 3 in favor, 1 against, and 1 absent. Thank you, city staff. Okay, and is something we have under public hearing? Yes.
Thank you, Louis.
So going, move on to the old business. Do we have any old business? No, it's all righty. So next we move on to the Community and Economic Development Department report.
Okay, so just a verbal report for you guys. As you guys are aware, we do have the Dutch Bros that just did their soft opening yesterday. We heard that the lines were really long, and so I hope you guys did get to go out there, or if not, they do have their grand opening. You guys are invited to the grand opening. There will not be a ribbon cutting just because Dutch Bros, I'm sure there's gonna be a long line and there's not really a space to sit. They do have a walk-up window, but you guys are more than welcome to join the grand opening and, and definitely let them know you guys are commissioners. So we're really excited for them to come here at the city. Once again, this will be the first Dutch Bros in Monterey County. So we're excited that we're the first ones to get it here in Monterey County. And just to give you a quick update also in regards of economic development, the Public Works Department has awarded their bid for their Front Street maintenance project. And so they're going to start working on the Front Street maintenance in regards of uprooting some trees, putting in new trees, resurfacing some of the roads and some of the plants and the landscaping. As the economic development team, we're also going to help in bringing in more vibrancy to the community as well. So we are actually going to be doing some art murals as well. We have council has signed off for us to get to partner with the Arts Council of Monterey to see if we can get some local artists to do some murals in our Front Street to liven it up a little bit and get more businesses and generate more tourism in our little downtown area. So we're super excited for that. So a lot of great things are coming here in Soledad. I also want you guys to let you guys also know that we did issue the building permit for Panda Express, and so we're super excited. It looks like they will be breaking ground or going to the grading permit sometime next month. So we're super excited for that. Panda Express, they build pretty quickly, so we might get something open by the end of this winter. So super excited for that. And staff wanted to thank you guys for all your input and decision in regard to Tractor Supply. They did officially submit for their building permit, so we're excited. We're going to be getting a Tractor Supply, so super excited about that. The DaVita that's at the Soledad Marketplace, it looks like they're going pretty well, and so it looks like their construction is going very great. They have a great construction manager, so we're really excited about that expansion for the DaVitas. There was one more thing I also want to let you guys know. The city is also looking into revamping our facade and sign program for the city. So we are going to be starting to look on rewriting some of their programs, and hopefully we can find some additional funding to help with our community in regards of our downtown, specifically our downtown area, but hopefully we can expand that more citywide. But as you guys can also see, if you guys haven't seen already, looks like one of our buildings has already been repainted. So it does look like it's a little more refreshed, and it looks very nice. I believe the Soledad liquor store. So it looks really nice on the side. But other than that though, that's all I have to report to you guys as commissioners for now. If you guys have any other additional questions or concerns, please feel free to email me or come by my office. I'm at the Gateway no one ever comes and sees me, so it'd be nice. To see, I've seen Jessie once and I was so excited to see her. So, but you know, commissioners, you guys are always more than welcome to swing by my office, and if you guys just want to have a chit chat in regards to some of the development growth that are happening, or if you guys have some opinions that can help us market the city a little more, that'd be great. Like I said, my staff is always here to help you guys if you guys have any other questions, or concerns. So with that, thank you so much, commissioners, and that's all I have for you guys.
Does anybody have any questions? I have one, so I'll start with mine and then we'll take the others. How are we moving along with the container project up front?
So the city has currently applied for a USDA Rural Business Development Grant to create to hopefully get a feasibility study to figure out how we can build it. So this feasibility study will help us as a city understand whether it could be city built or whether we get a developer to build it for us. So we applied for that grant in March, and we're hoping to hear back by June to see whether or not we got awarded. If not, we also did apply for another grant for the same type of project. So we have 2 backup grants just in case to see whether or not we can feasibly do this proper. But we're super excited. We already have some developers that are very interested in helping us. And we also have a lot of people who are very excited to see how this project goes. So we are moving forward with that. And we did create brochures, and so I'll bring that to you guys at our next commission meeting, so you can see what we will be handing out to like sponsors or to other developers and stuff like that in regards to the container village. It's a really nice brochure, but I apologize I didn't bring it for you guys today.
Is Ross still coming in?
From what I've talked to in regards of the developer itself, the property owner, they are not coming to the city of Soledad. The reason why is more retail places now, like Ross or TJ Maxx or Marshalls, they want already existing buildings to move into, because the cost of construction is way too high for their bottom number. And so from what I'm aware of, they are not coming in regards of economic reasons.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is your sign still up?
Their sign is still up. I have talked to the developer numerous times in regards of getting it off. He got the weeds down, but he didn't get the sign off. And I called him numerous times, and he stated that they're waiting to get a blank one to come and remove that. I did give him a deadline saying that I need you to take it off.
They can just flip it over.
Yeah, so I think I told them that I'm gonna probably just go over there and just take it. But yes, so from what he has informed me, they are no longer coming due to the economic issues, yeah.
Are we looking at another clothing company to come in or?
So he is in talks with a couple right now, but he is yet to disclose it to me. I've been trying to egg him on to figure out who it is, and from what I'm hearing, it's close to, it is a good retail store. It is a main major store from what he's telling me. So I'm hoping that we get something, like that, but I'm still in conversation with him to try to figure out what other types of development he's gonna bring to the city, so we're working on it.
Good job, good work.
Thank you.
I have two different things. As far as the special meetings, I know sometimes they pop up and they're, instant, but like it's like in this particular case, we were being asked for a date, a couple of weeks ago. Why does it take the date until the day before for us to get the the agenda and information?
Yeah,
And attachments, I
Yeah.
agree.
Like if it's, we know about this potential meeting, so like 2 weeks ago, why can't we get it then?
The documents, yeah, even if they're not, 100%. And I agree, because it gives us more time to review them, digest them, do our own research. I feel like when I come to these meetings and we start going through them, like I said, other things come up, but I haven't had enough time for me to fully digest it and really come up with those questions and be prepared. So that same question and
Yeah,
concern.
no, I do apologize. That is definitely on me and my staff. We are working as quickly as possible with a lot of other projects and every single time when we try to work on like specific things for the planning commission, especially our staff reports, we are going down to the wire and and so that's one thing that I have to work on with my staff and I to make sure that we're able to get it to you guys. So I do apologize. I wish I had an actual answer in regards of it. I really don't. I will try to work harder with staff to make sure that you guys get it at least a couple days or even a week before it. Special meetings, yes, they do just pop up and we do have to give a 24-hour notice in regards to the agenda itself, but you are
But we
correct.
could also just say we don't wanna have it, right, and then we.
And then
meet
it would
next
just
week.
wait until the regular meeting, yeah, and that would be okay too. You guys have the right as commissioners to just say, no, we're not ready to have a quorum, we wanna wait until the regular meeting, and that would be okay as well for us.
Right,
Yeah.
and, but I think going back to what he's saying, that this information is not last minute information that's being pulled together.
Mhm.
So, you know, we would appreciate it at least a week in advance to give us enough opportunity to view it. And I get it, if there is an update to it, that's okay, you can still send us an email with that updated information a few days before, but at least we've run through the documentation prior to the meeting, you know,
Yeah.
it gives us all enough time.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Is there a portal that the staff reports are going to?
We are.
Access?
We're working with the Granicus agenda portal to make sure that that is pushed through. The city has been using it a lot for the city council, but we're still finding little things
Quirks.
little quirks with it. But yes, there will be a portal that you guys would be getting it from. But it would still also be on the city website too, if you guys were not able to get it via email.
And then my second question or request would be, since I've been here, I don't think I've ever received an agenda where it says that the staff did not recommend whatever they're presenting.
Mhm.
Can we get options as far as if, like, for example, here on the staff report, it says staff recommends that the planning commission considered an approved resolution, so. Can we get, if not approved, these are the other options?
Yeah, I believe in the,
Are they there?
yeah, they are, they're under the
We
alternatives.
got it yesterday, so.
Yeah, no, it's okay, they're under the alternatives in the staff report,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So there are options, there, and once again, I do apologize that you guys do get these items, either the day before or even like 2 or 3 days before the actual meeting, so, that is something that staff will work on, and, you know, hopefully we'll be able to be more on task, and I apologize for that, commissioners. But I will try my darndest, hopefully, to get it acclimated.
You took my comments. Well, I mean, or even just, lost the word. I guess for lack of better words, an idea of what's coming up. I try to ask my neighbors or, you know, people in the community, what do you think about this? Or business owners, like, hey, we're considering this, what do you guys think? Just to kind of be able to say that, you know, it's what the community wants, but, yeah, thanks a lot, Sid.
And like, his idea, Commissioner Diaz's idea of providing alternatives, you know, I'm used to. If you're providing alternative 1, 2, or 3, it gives us some options to consider versus, you know, just 2 bullet points, yes or no, you know, it doesn't give us really it's one or the other. The third option would be nice. Yeah, because, and then also, if we were to get the documentation a week in advance, I'm sure there will be more questions.
Mhm.
And we send emails asking for that information to be presented at this meeting so that the questions that we're asking and the information that's going to be provided is also provided to the public as well during the public meeting.
No, and I completely understand what you guys are saying, and I will try my best to work with my staff to hopefully we can get a staff report to you guys ahead of time of those meetings. It's just, once again, it's unfortunate that has been a ongoing theme for us, and, you know, I will try to do the best that I can with my staff and myself to make sure you guys get it.
Sounds good. Any more questions or comments? Nope. So we'll go ahead and close the Community and Economic Development Department report. And move on to commissioners' announcements and reports. We'll start off with commissioners and just. No. I went to the farmer's market on Thursday. Very nice. Similar vendors as last year's, and the products that they were selling and what have you. Very nice. We don't oversee that, right? The farmer's market. Okay. Right. That's it. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the food. I was just hoping we can get more vendors.
Not us, yeah, unfortunately.
I guess in those lines, my kids are very active and they play both baseball and soccer. And just kudos to the fields, like Main Street Middle School, beautiful soccer fields, the best in like South Monterey County. And then even like the baseball field, also very well maintained. The new president has done a fantastic job as far as keeping the park, the lights, the kids are loving it.
Oh, that's good. Yay, that's fantastic.
Not much. I did try to stop by Dutch Brothers and I saw, I like the way he said it, people get creative. I saw how people got creative trying to get in lines. I know it was all free actually. So that's why there was a big lines and I'm hoping their soft opening kind of showed them what the traffic is gonna be like. I've seen the Dutch Brothers in Fresno. I've seen the lines, consistently long, but yeah, it was kind of, did a walkthrough of the parking lot and just saw how people were blocking lanes and trying to find their way in, getting upset because somebody was exiting and saw, oh, look, I just get in line here. It's like, I did talk to the security guard there. He said everything, went pretty smoothly. And I know it's new, so everybody wants to go. It should die down, but yeah, but great. And car wash, I saw that pad there, waiting for that so I can wash my cars. But as far as the businesses that go in there, that's on the developing, correct? I mean, we still have a say in improving things, but is there any way we can talk to the developer about what type of businesses the community is looking for?
I can definitely ask the developer, and it's definitely a question I could definitely pose him to see whether or not he wants to come and speak, whether or not he's comfortable speaking with you guys in regards of it. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. But I can definitely bring it up to him.
Like I said, I tried to talk to the community and see what they're interested in, but I think a lot of times you don't want change and people are like, no, we don't want this, we don't want that. But once it shows up, everyone's excited about it. So.
Yeah, no, I can definitely talk to the developer and see if we can get something.
That's all.
What time is the grand opening tomorrow? Does it just start at 5?
It starts at 5 a.m. and then they close at 10 p.m. And it's on Friday.
Friday.
Yes, yeah, today is Wednesday. You have to wait 2 more days. Yes, and the soft opening was for them to understand what the actual need was, because when I was speaking to the manager, he was just like, no, this gives us a good idea in regards of how to manage the grand opening and the days after, because if lines are going to be that long, they need to have a game plan, but they actually need to see what they're having their game plan for.
That's what looked at pretty bad. That parking area would have been a good lane for the drive-through, but there were a couple of semi trucks parked there, which caused the drive-through line to move more in the middle of the road. So as we're driving down Nessel, the people coming out from the movie theater, so we're kind of playing this little game of who goes first. But
yeah, so hopefully it'll be more smoother, but they were actually really excited about how much the community came out. So it was really, really good to see. And they were very happy in regards to the receptiveness of the community. So, which is good, because it's always good to have a good relationship with businesses. But, okay.
All right, thank you, everyone. For attending our next regular scheduled meeting is scheduled for what? Oh, sorry.
So it's scheduled for, I believe, June. I'm so sorry. It is June 13th.
All right,
Yes.
all right, so until then, thank you and have a great night. It's 7:29.